Hello. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our weekly live. I'm Debbie White. I'm a brand and marketing expert. And I'm going to be talking today about relationships and how to build actual relationships with your audience. And I'm talking about marketing. We can do this with marketing. So I'm going to cover a couple things today. And when you guys come on, I'd love to see who's here and give me a hello. And first of all, there's three things I want to talk about today. But before I dig into this, I really want to say that, first of all, yes, number one, relationships do create sales. They do. I think we all know this, but I'm going to talk about this for a minute because things are really changing in the online space. And as you guys come in, say hello. I'd love to see who's here. Let me know where you're from and what you do. I want to make this as interactive as possible with you guys. So I'd love for you to let us know what's going on when you come in. And things are really changing. Have you guys noticed? I actually had several calls, well, 2 personal calls yesterday that lasted well over an hour each with friends, colleagues of mine in the coaching industry. And there's a lot of things that are happening right now that are changing. And I'm really digging into this. I'm really looking around and going, okay, what's going on? There's a lot of people that I'll just tell you this. A lot of the marketing guru tactics that are, talked about, like, oh, you got to do it this way, and you do this thing in this funnel. That stuff is absolutely not working anymore. It's not. Here's what is, though. When you look at people that are thriving and doing really well, it's all about relationships. And you absolutely can start this with marketing. I'm going to talk about that. That's going to be my focus today. There's some stuff that absolutely is not working. And when I take a couple steps back and I ask, okay, what's happening, is very formulaic processes aren't working. Because and I've been talking with some friends. People are too smart. Like, the pandemic created a isolated online bubble. We spent so much time online because we couldn't go anywhere. And it was a great time for people to take webinars, take online courses, take classes. Okay, so new people came online. They wanted to work from home. So there's more people doing this online. So it's not only is it very noisy, very loud. Now we have this thing happening. We've got summer coming. People are like, I don't want to be on the computer, or if I am, I'm going to be really particular, or they're flat out over anything that even slightly smells like a tactic. Do you guys feel this? Is anyone let me know? I'm going to look in the comments and see what you guys are doing. Oh, welcome. I would love to know what your take is on this as you guys are watching this. I can tell you that what everyone's craving is what's on this banner right now, which is relationships, connection. That's what people are craving. And yes, you absolutely can do this and foster that, but we have to think about things very differently than a lot of the stuff that's out there being taught. I'm so over the gimmicks. I'm so over the tactics. I'm so over the scripts. They don't work. We're all too smart for that. Once you've heard it a dozen times, like, yeah, I've heard this one. Yeah, I've seen this pony show. We're done. I'm done. I'm so done with all of it. I'm just going all in on being as real as possible. I'm going to talk about that. That's part of what I'm going to talk about today. But I want to stay with how relationships create sales. People need to feel connected to you, and you can do that with your content. But I'll say this: if you're hiding from your content, and this is what I mean by it, this is what hiding looks like. If you read your content, if you watch your videos, whatever type of content you're creating, and it could be created by anyone else. Like, if you took yourself out of it and someone else could read the same thing, write the same post, it's not personal enough. It's not connecting with your audience. So we've got to bring more of us into our content. We've got to really be connected with our audience in a different way. We cannot be talking at them all the time. And I'm going to say something else that I think all this fits together. This actually makes me really sad. Some people I've been talking with, every single person I've had pretty deep conversations with, people are feeling very, very lonely. I'm just curious if you're feeling that, because if you are, you're not alone. I mean, I had a talk with a friend yesterday, and I had 2 different phone calls with 2 different friends, and this came up on both calls. Both calls brought both of us to tears. It's lonely. It's really lonely, and people they want to be connected, and we have an opportunity to be genuine and to genuinely, truly connect with people online. We absolutely have that opportunity. So, I've looked up a stat on this, and I feel like this is heartbreaking, but I really think this is what spun out of the pandemic. A lot of people, I moved, I'm in a new place. I don't have a lot of friends. I have a lot of people moved around. I don't know if anyone here moved around. Did you guys move? Anyone in the audience? Friendships dissolved, changed. A lot of things happened, and it left this kind of gap. A lot of us are spending more time on the computer. All of these things end up where we really have a loneliness epidemic. 60% of people in the United States right now are reporting feeling lonely on a regular basis. That is a sad statistic. But with every sad statistic, everything that you look at, there's an opportunity in there, because what is that telling us? What's the flip of that? Connection. If you leave with one thing today, know that anything you can do with your marketing to help people feel more seen, heard, connected with you is this is what we have to do now. We have to be intentional about that. And I'm going to suggest some things as I go through. The other thing about relationships, think about your friends, the people that you have deep relationships with. You know them pretty well. Like, I got on a phone call yesterday, and a friend of mine that I've known for a very long time, 20 years. And she said, I so appreciate that we didn't get on the call and just start talking about dumb crap. Like, we just got into some juicy, meaty, real life stuff. You do that with your good friends. You don't get on a call and talk about the weather. I think this is a really good comparison when we think about, we have to know our audience well enough that our content doesn't sound like the weather report, like they've heard that from everyone today. We have to talk in our content on a more emotional level, on a deeper level with our audience. They're smarter than we give them credit for, but they're also craving connection. So what does that mean? How do we do that? What does that look like? And here's something that we talked about this yesterday in my House of Impact program at length. We'll look at content. We'll do content reviews and look at, kind of critique. I'll do that. I'll often go and critique different content from my members. And we were talking about storytelling, but when you unpack that and really dive into that, great content is content where you're really fully yourself in your content, where if someone looked at your content and put their hand over who created it, and they've been following you for a while, they would know it was you. That's something we have to be intentional about. And I'll also say, this came up yesterday on the call, this can feel really scary. And it's one of the areas I'm really going really hard on this. Like, you'll see me say, be frank. I'm frankly Deb. I want you to be you, to be frank, to be you, to fully own what it is that you do. So that allows yourself to show up as real as possible. The practice polished, the if you feel like you're putting on a face show when you go on, people can feel it. People can sense it. They're done. It doesn't. We are humans are so socially intelligent. We can detect nuances. We can detect feelings. I mean, you guys can probably detect like someone's energy, like something must be off. Something's off with her today. We sense things. And when someone's not fully being themselves, we can tell. When someone's reading a script, we know it. It's like she's not fully present. Something's off. I'm not reading a script right now. I'm just talking. And I really encourage all of you to think about how can you be more fully you with your content? And this is what I tell my members. In fact, we'll talk about it. Like someone will read a post to me and I'm like, okay. Can you say it back to me and just talk to me and tell me what that post was about? And they'll tell me, I'm like, that was gold. You need to take what you just said and that's your post. Because her own voice came out and it was like, wow, okay, we do this sometimes. We get into like writer mode and we're like, we write in a way we would never ever talk. Like maybe it's a high school paper, maybe it's a poem, maybe I don't know what it is. It's like people are craving you. They actually, honestly, are craving to be in connection with people that are real. Think about content creators that you love. And if anyone has favorites, I mean, drop them in the comments. I would love to know. Who do you love following? Who comes down, like, down the scroll and it's like, okay, I want to hear what she has to say, or I know she's going to say something because you have this sense about them. They're so authentic. They're so real. They don't filter. You can tell. And the first person that comes to mind for me is Glennon Doyle and her wife, Abby. Is it Wambach? They are so freaking real. They just let everything rip. They say anything. They're not afraid to say boo. And it's like, you're going to get the most authentic, her podcast is amazing because it's them together. Their conversations are like, you're really out listening to what it would be like to be in a room with them, actually talking. They're not selling. They're not trying to like sound like, using elevator pitches. That stuff does not work. I'm so over all that crap. You can do this in your content. This is what's working, by the way. All that other stuff, the formulas, the gimmicks, the templates. I've been saying this for the longest time, like, don't use that stuff. You guys, it is a death knell if you use that stuff now. It's not going to work. I'm watching what's happening out here. It's not going to work. People want to know you. They want to know your heart. They want to know what matters. They want to know that you're actually a genuine person, and you've got to be able to show up in a genuine way so that they can sense and feel that, okay, yeah, she really is. I mean, this is real stuff. This isn't like, I can tell it's polished, it's perfect. We don't want that. I don't want it. I want a real human being. And I think I know other people do too. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it in action. So I think this gives a lot of us, if some of you are watching, you're like, God, I'm not a professional marketer. Good. Be a professional, real person. I almost think I need to change my whole brand makeup to like, unmarketing marketing. I want you all to be building actual relationships with your audience. I want you to be you. Strategy does matter. Having a roadmap matters. But the kind of roadmap that I feel is extremely effective is completely based on you. What's unique and amazing about what you already have. There's no BS. It cannot have it can't have a single piece of BS. And anything that's going to allow you to show up with all of your gifts and be able to articulate that in your own voice, I'm all in on. That's what moves the needle. That's what people are craving. That's what I really want to get across today. And if you have any questions, like, I would love to hear what they are. I know some people are here watching. Drop me a hey or something just to let me know who's here. And so going from being you, and what does that mean? Right? I also want to say, here's another thing that is really important is we have to be more interactive with our audience. I'm asking you a lot of questions right now. I'm wanting you to interact with me. And even if you're watching this in replay, I will circle back and interact with you as well. When we do workshops or have special calls, we had one yesterday, we're doing them differently. We're doing them in Zoom so that we can talk with you all actually all together. And I encourage you to think of ways where you really can interact more with your audience. There's a few things that you can do, but I think this is more of a mindset. How can I create content that's interacting with them, bringing them along with me versus talking at them? Because there is a difference. And this is something that we have to be intentional about. We're not here to get up on our soapbox and like, that's like people will go, yeah, maybe hard, maybe not, move on. We need to be, and it's not force, like, hey, drop a comment if you think, but genuine conversation that gets people talking about things you care about. And yes, you have a business as it relates to your business. There's things your audience clearly wants. It's your job to know that. That's a part of the strategy work that is imperative. And there's things you can do. There's stickers and stories where you can ask questions, ask polls. You can even put those on Instagram on a reel. You can ask questions and ask things to your audience in Facebook. There's all kinds of ways to interact, but on a genuine level, like genuinely interact with your audience in a way. When people comment, genuinely comment back with real thoughtful comments. The interaction part is really, really important. And again, we have to be more intentional about interacting with our audience. And there is a way with your marketing to build a rapport with your audience. Notice who is interacting with your content. Are you interacting back with them? I mean, interaction is a two-way street. We have to get out of the mindset that we're advertising, that it's a one-way marketing platform. Social media works best as it's social, and now it's becoming imperative that we become better at the social relationship aspect of building relationships online. It's absolutely imperative. And some of my best friends that I have never met them in person, which to me is kind of wild, but this is the age and day that we live in. Because I have built social relationships that started with noticing them online and eventually led to like, maybe it's just a connect call. Connect calls are amazing. I have a connect call this afternoon. Can't wait to get to know people better. It doesn't have to start with sales. You can't go right into the sale with marketing. Marketing is an entire cycle. It starts with awareness. It builds from there. They lean in, they get to know you. It doesn't happen with 1, 2, 3 posts, you get a sale. That is advertising from the old days of like newspaper advertising and stuff like that. That's not what this is. This is really taking people along a really intentional, personal journey of, hey, I really want to get to know my people and I want them to feel welcome in my community and in my world. I truly do. And I want you to think about, what can I do to build that type of community? Because we get to, and I will say, you have to nowadays. You have to have a sense of community. And there is strategy that helps you identify, well, what am I all about? What is my purpose? What am I really here to like put a stake in the ground? And I want to build a rally, a tribe around. I do that work. I do that work with my clients. And I will say that we do have a wait list starting for our September class for the House of Impact, where we do all of this. We already have people signed up for the year. And if you are interested in that, just either say, I'm interested, DM me directly. Happy to help you out with that. Happy to jump on a connect call with you and just to get to know you better and see what's happening in your marketing strategy. where are you needing more support? But I really appreciate all of you just being with me during this live this week. I go live every Wednesday at 11 Central here in my Facebook group. And we're now streaming on YouTube. So hello, YouTube. So good to have you here. And next week, I'm going to be talking about storytelling with your content. This is something that we went over in detail in our House of Impact yesterday. And there's a lot of nuggets here that I think would be really great for y'all to hear. Storytelling is a way that we connect as human beings. When we talk about building relationships, we tell stories to remember things. We tell stories to relate with people on a human level. And storytelling is a massively important skill. So I'm going to cover some things next week. So thank you so much for being here. So good to see you. Thank you, Kelly. And I will see everyone again in a week. Have a beautiful Wednesday and look forward to seeing y'all really soon. Thanks, everybody. Bye.